Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And nice to see all of you again. And today we will have our third session on urban agriculture online training. Today we will have Miss Dwi Setianingsih and Mas Zaki Yudhistira from SMP SAIM Surabaya, who will talk about the soil-based vegetable and fruit tree gardening. So, without further ado, please, Miss Dwi and Mas Zaki, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Haris. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Before we deliver our presentation, we want to say thank you for Simeo Biotrop and team that have encouraged us to be the presenter today. We are from Sekolah Alam Insan Mulia Surabaya or SAIM Junior High School. My name is Dwi.
And my name is Zaki. So basically what we are going to present today is how to use soil as your planting media.
Okay, this is interesting topic for us because we know that most of the people ever growing vegetable and fruit using soil media. We know that there are some function of plant, especially for our consumption. This is the example of the structure of plant. We can see that all of the parts of plant can be consumed in our daily life. For the example, this is taproot. Taproot is the part of the plant that can be consumed also. For the example, carrots. And then for the stem tuber, we can also consume for our daily life. The example is potato, and then adventitious roots. For the example, sweet potato, and then swollen hypocotyl and taproot. The example is for radish, and then for the fruit, the example for the pepper, and then for the leaf blades, is also the part of the plant that we can consume in our daily life. The example is spinach, and then for the petiole, such as celery, and for the stem of the plant, the example is asparagus, and then for the axillary part, we can consume Brussels sprout, and then for the apical part, we can also consume broccoli. Becky, in your opinion, why most of the people can grow some of vegetable and fruit tree using soil media?
Okay, thank you, Miss Dwi. So, in my opinion, why people use soil as their main planting media? Because soil has been used and implemented in agriculture for more than 100 years. And for example, such as hydroponics, who use like rock wool, for example, only have been implemented and introduced to agriculture only like few years ago. And soil has been used for agriculture for more than 100 years. So that's my opinion why most people use soil as their planting media. And here are the few reasons why should we grow our own vegetable and fruit tree garden in soil, because it can get better quality and more nutritious food, and because it is encouraging vegetable and fruit consumption while developing environmental awareness. And then it is also environmentally friendly, and because we are using organic waste matter as fertilizers, and that way we can reduce landfill waste and thereby reducing pollution. And it is a great place to learn. A garden can teach us to love nature, create an interest in conservation, and encourage us to respect life. And it can also boost our environmental awareness.
Great, you are right, Becky.
And The function of soil as a growing media is to supply roots with nutrition, air, and water, physically supports the plants, and allow maximum root growth. And then the soil is the starting point for every food chain and the top priority of organic gardeners. Good soil is essential if you want plants that grow well, are resistant to diseases and pests, and are nutritious. You can boost your soil quality by adding compost into it. And before you start your garden, there are like five main points that you need to be aware of. And the first one is the spacing. You need to adjust the plants that you want to plant, that and it is related to the spacing. For like example, if you are living in a large space house and you have a large backyard, you can plant an apple tree there. But if you are planning to plant on an apartment, you cannot plant an apple tree there. You can only plant like small plants like such as lettuce and also in a pot. And then you also need to focus on the soil. You cannot plant plants on a bad soil. For example, the soil is too hard. You need to loosen the soil bond. And then the light intensity. You need to also to aware of the light intensity, because plants cannot grow when without lights. And then the water too. The water is also essential to the plant because the plant requires water to grow, and your climate. For example, if I want to grow rice, you cannot grow rice on America because of the climate is different from Indonesia. And some particular plants cannot grow on subtropical climate and also tropical climate too.
Another important thing for growing plant using soil as a medium, we have to prepare the soil by mixing garden soil, compost, or decomposed organic animal or plant waste, cocoa peat, or rice husk. And what should we do is make sure that the soil doesn't contain any stones, glass, and litter. Break up any large lump with your hands and mix until all three ingredients are evenly distributed. You will use the mix as media for growing plants. And then after we prepare the good soil for the media for growing plant, we can planting the seed. We can use propagator or seed bed. This is have the function that the baby plant are protected from heavy rain and strong suns. When they are ready to be transplanted, the plant can move outdoor. How to transplant seedling? The seedling are ready to be planted out when they have 4 leaves or the stalk or stem is as thick. Transplanting means moving the seedling and surrounding soil to the grow medium.
Okay, that is a very nice information to know. And after you transplant the plant, you need to take care of it. The first one is watering. Water carefully, ideally close to the ground. It is important to keep the bed moist. You can punch holes in a plastic bottle to provide to a fine spray. Watering in the middle of the day can damage the plants, so don't water it in the middle of the day. And these are the activities that you can do when you are taking care of your garden. First is weeding. Weeding means to remove wild weeds or wild grass that is surrounding your crop. Why? Because the wild weeds can take the nutrition from the ground, and it can be a competition for your crop. And then hoeing is like you hoe the ground to let water move into the ground more easily. And then mulching is to put like tree barks or compost or coco pit surrounding your plants to prevent weed from growing and also to add additional nutritions to your plant. So it's kind of like compost. And staking is to help your plants grow straight. For further steps on these methods, you can search it on the internet. And we also have another suggestion for you guys to do if you want to keep the soil quality or you want to maximize the soil performance. The first is mixing crops, and it is to avoid exhausting to the soil. And then the crop rotation, it is to prevent spread of pest and disease. And the fertilizers is to improve and maintain soil fertility. There are lots of interesting information about this method on the internet. I suggest you search that too. And then dealing with pests and diseases. When you are planting, there will be pests and diseases that will bug your plant. So you need to take care of them too, because it can affect your harvest quality. And first of all, if you spot any caterpillars, you want to squash and remove any caterpillars that you find in the soil and on the leaves, and remove any sick leaves in the plant, and sow strong smelling plants in between your vegetables. Plants like garlic, onions, coriander, and parsley all repels insects. So you can plant them to repel insects and to prevent insects from decaying your product. And you can make your own pesticide if the regular pesticide is too expensive for you. But I wouldn't suggest the regular pesticide either, because it is non-environmental friendly, even though there are some.
So this is organic pesticide, yeah?
Yes, this is an organic pesticide. You can use red ginger, tobacco, and lemongrass. And you want to mix all of them in a boiling water, and you can just spray it to your plant. And thank you, I guess that's all from us. Any questions?
Okay, thank you for the presentation, Zaki and Miss Dwi. Do you have any experiences on implementing this soil-based tree and vegetable gardening in your school?
For planting this fruit garden tree, for now, we are planting an orange tree in a pot. Tabolam pot. And then we also use the compost mix that we are using and that we have explained before. Oh, and the ratio for each ingredients is 1:1:1.
So what was it again? The compost 1:1:1?
This one
Mixing the
for
media.
soil media. The garden soil and the animal waste or plant waste and the coco pit. The ratio is 1:1:1. We are currently using this ingredients right now.
Okay, thank you. So does anybody else have a question? You can ask the question directly, or you can type in the chat box. Okay, perhaps another question from me. Because we are talking about urban agriculture, right? So what methods do you think can work with the soil based? I mean, does something like hydroponics perhaps, but with soil instead of rock wool or something, and then perhaps what else is it? A vertical garden or something like that?
for all of my experience and the agriculture method that I've been examined, I would suggest the hydroponic if you live in a dense urban area because it costs less space and it can also gain or harvest a lots of income, a lots of plants. But the downside is it only supports certain types of plant. You cannot plant an apple tree or an orange tree in a hydroponic. I maybe you can, but it will cost like a lot.
But if you want to use soil media as a media for growing plant, I think it will better if you use tabulam pot for growing fruit tree. For the example, we can harvest our orange only in 3 months because we use tabulam pot system.
Okay, thank you. And did you ever heard about raised bed system? It's just something like you put some bricks in a square shapes and then you put the soil inside it. Have you tried something like that before?
Bed garden. That is same as bed garden.
Yeah, I think so. Raised bed
Yeah,
garden.
we have already done about it.
So what kind of plant can you plant in this kind of?
We still plant many of vegetable only. Vegetable like lettuce, spinach, red spinach.
Okay, so any questions from the participants? We have Bu Neni, I think, from SMP 1 Cicurug, Bu April, and halo Bu Neni.
Thank you, Mas Haris.
Ya Bu.
Sorry, actually, this is the how the soil is using to plant only the plant of tree plant, right? We cannot use the composition to other plant or any explanation.
The composition for making soil as a media for growing. Yeah, we can use the composition 1:1 ratio for all of the plants. 1 portion for garden soil and 1 ratio again for compost and then 1 ratio for cocoa peat or rice husk.
So the ingredients and the comparison and ratio that we are using is universal. Yeah, but if I think there are some research on the internet that will that has specific composition on different plants, but in this composition it is universal, so you can use it on any plants. But I think certain types of plant will require another different dosage of the compositions.
Oke, sudah terjawab Bu Neni?
Saya mendengarnya tidak ada suaranya.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I don't know. Bu Neni, can you hear the SMP SAIM now? Okay, so perhaps another question from the participants. Okay, if I may ask a question, what is the use of the cocoa pit or rice husk in this composition?
Pardon me?
What is the why do you use cocoa pit or rice husk in the growing media?
I think it will better for loose and fertile soil for drainage the water after rewatering the plants. And if the water is stay in the bottom, the water can drainage clearly.
Mm-hmm.
So the soil can loose and fertile.
Okay, so to provide better drainage, yeah, for the
Yeah.
soil. Okay, perhaps another questions. Okay. Is there no further questions from the participants? Okay, I believe if there is no further question, perhaps you can close your presentation, SMP SAIM.
Okay, I think that's all from our presentation. Sorry if there is any information that it is unclear or that some of the contents may be offensive. Okay, that's all from us. Hope we meet again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, great job SMP SAIM. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you also for everyone who have joined these sessions. And we will meet again for the next session on next Monday, 4th June. We will discuss about hydroponics, which will be delivered by SMP SAIM also, and from SMK Mitra Industri. Okay, so see you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so for everyone who have just joined, the session have already over, but we will try to upload the recording as fast as we can, and we will also share the PowerPoint presentation. And for SMP SAIM, please send the presentation to me ya, haris@biotrop.org. Oke, makasih. Assalamualaikum.